Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. As usual, it's taken from a double up game. I'm playing here together with JDPL Grillo. First game I've done in double up this split with the diamond borders, so that's nice. In this game, we're going to be looking at one of the B team compositions. This is the Honeymancer trait, and we're going to be playing through Ziggs as our featured unit. Yes, Ziggs is now the main carry in a Honeymancer board, so we'll be looking at what fun stuff we can get up to with the bees in this game, and also talk a little bit about how this plays out in terms of set 12 gameplay. Okay, for our starting portal, I don't think we loved any of these options, but the one that we disliked the least, I find myself saying that a lot. It's like, which one of these portals I dislike the least, was the one that gives everybody an artifact item at the start of the game. And it turned out that every single person was either standing on that or hadn't picked anything. So it was an instant pick. We didn't have to even go through like the little animation. We just instantly got the artifact anvil. A little bit of a disappointment because apparently it was Grillo's pick. I kind of wish that that had been a contested lobby where it was Grillo's pick, but no such luck. All right, I decided that I would want to pull the anvil early on here and look at my options. I see that Mana Zane is one of the options. After casting the first time in combat, gain 120 mana over 5 seconds. As soon as I saw this, I immediately said, I am going to try to play Ziggs in this game. I'm going to reroll for the B units, officially Honeymancers, but it's more fun to call them B units. And I'm going to look to play the Ziggs here in this game. Now, the reason for that is, number one, Ziggs is pretty strong in this patch. This is clearly the strongest reroll build in this particular patch, is going for this. It's basically a variation of the old build where you would play Poppy and Zoe and Ari. You still play most of those units, but now you play them alongside B units instead. So it's kind of a variation of that. But Ziggs is the main carry, and Mana Zane is really, really strong on him. I mean, it tends to be good for spellcasters in general, but it's an especially strong item for him because as soon as he casts one time, he will then proceed to get 120 mana over the next 5 seconds, and that is like 3 or 4 additional casts for him. So he just casts again and again really fast. I'm also going to get a ridiculous augment here. I'm looking at the different options. I don't really see anything I like. I was going to take Clockwork Accelerator, but then I get this, Sweet Tooth Nunu. This is the Nunu carry augment. So this is the one that turns Nunu into a carry unit in his own right. So, by the way, we're also going to double send here because I have 1 Ziggs and Grillo has 2 Ziggs. I'm going to send my 1 Zigg to him. He's going to send it back. It'll turn into a 2-star on his board, and then he's going to send it back to me. So now I have instant 2-star Ziggs out of the gate. I will put the Mana Zane on him, and then I will go ahead and put a Jeweled Gauntlet on him. And just like that, I have a 2-star Ziggs with this artifact item that is extremely well suited to him, and also a Jeweled Gauntlet. Now, I would like to get him a blue buff as well, and the main reason for that is Ziggs' mana cost is 40. If you get him a blue buff, that will drop down to 30, and with 30 mana for his cast, the Mana Zane will produce 120 mana over 5 seconds, so that's 4 additional casts over the next 5 seconds. So he will cast almost immediately. Actually, I believe he will cast immediately if he starts the fight with a blue buff. And then he will instantly cast 4 more times over the next 5 seconds. That is an incredible spike of damage at the start of the fight. And it also synergizes really well with his Invoker trait as well, because every time Invokers cast, they gain additional mana. They also get it for auto-attacking, but they gain more when they do a basic attack. All right, so let me cover what Ziggs does. We're right here at the start of the video. This is a good moment to cover his ability. So Ziggs' ability is called Bouncing Bee. His Q in League of Legends is Bouncing Bomb, but they've changed it to Bouncing Bee for this game. As I said, costs 40 mana. Throw a Bouncing Bomb at the farthest enemy. Bomb explodes on the first enemy hit, deals magic damage to the target, and area damage to all nearby enemies. So, as I said, deals magic damage and then splashes some of it as well. The damage is quite high for a 1-cost unit. It is, it's listed as 300% magic damage at 2-star, 450% at 3-star, and then it's halved for the splash damage. So that's pretty high, and the way that this is gated is Ziggs can miss. He can throw his bomb and hit absolutely nothing, and like that's the way that this is somewhat balanced, but this unit is definitely overtuned in this patch. It's a little bit too strong. So The bouncing bombs do a lot of damage, but as mentioned, it is possible for them to just fly out and hit nothing. Again, I also have the Sweet Tooth Nunu augment. As I said, this turns him into a carry in his own right, and he will gain permanently stacking health over the course of this fight, so I wouldn't mind having Nunu turn into a carry in this game as well. But Ziggs is a more important unit, so we're going to be focusing on the Ziggs and go from there. I'm also perfectly content to just build Nunu with like pure tank stuff. Again, ideally, you would try to put, if you're going to really play through the Nunu, you'd want to get like an Archangel Staff and a Bloodthirster on him, because that synergizes well with the Sweet Tooth Nunu. But I'm kind of just playing the Nunu as a better version of the normal Nunu and as a trait bot, because I kind of had this perfect situation for the Ziggs come together here. All right, this time I'm up against someone who is playing, again, what is this, Poppy and Zoe. And unfortunately for me, they've already hit Poppy 2-star and Zoe 2-star. Zoe has the Ludens on her. So, like, Ziggs is doing his best. He's trying to hit the back line, but that's too many 2-stars over there on that board. I really need to get 2-star front line to protect the Ziggs, because he's going to do an awful lot of damage, but he needs a little bit more than unitemized 1-star Poppy, Blitzcrank, and Nunu standing up there on the front line. So I do need a little bit more than that in order to keep him safe. One good piece of news is we do get slightly increased carousel priority from that. Now, I'm still going to be last pick, but Grillo at least will be second pick here. Grillo has decided he's going to look to play into a Portal team composition, which is never really a bad choice here in set 12. Portal's been pretty consistently strong throughout the set. I was thinking of taking a frontline item here because I did not think there was any chance I would get a tier on a 3 gold champion, but that Nico is still standing there with the tier. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go for the tier because I need 2 tiers for Ziggs. Remember, it's not like I need 1. I actually need 2 because I'm trying to make a blue buff. And surprisingly, I do actually get this. Plus, it's on a Nico that sells for 3 gold, so that's great. And then I have the option to reroll my shop with champions 1 cost lower, so that's good. That gets us Ziggs number 4. I am, of course, not leveling here, which is standard for 1 cost reroll builds. I need to stay at a lower level until I find all the Ziggs. And there, Grillo's found another one too, so that's great. We're up to 5 combined. Definitely hitting some of the Ziggs units here. And I need to try to get the Ziggs 3-star. Ideally, I would also get Blitzcrank 3-star, but I've only found 1 Blitzcrank the entire game thus far. And I will not stay at level 1 just to reroll for Blitzcrank, because he's not the focused unit in this game. I would potentially look to roll more for the Nunu, but I don't think it's worthwhile to stay at a lower level for a long time just to try to hit the Blitzcrank. It'll be nice if I can hit it. And in fact, Blitz is typically the main tank when you're re-rolling for when you're playing this board. Typically, Blitzcrank is the main tank, because if you're rolling for 1-cost units, you're probably going to see more Blitzcranks than you are Nunus. Nunu being a 2-cost unit. But I won't, as I said, I won't just stick around just to hit Blitzcrank, because Nunu, I have the Nunu carry augment, and Nunu is a better unit for me to itemize. Still some good news. There is a Blitzcrank there, so that at least gets me to 2 out of 3. And I did hit the Poppy 2-star, so I will go ahead and put tank items on the Poppy for right now. This vest is never going to go on Zig, so I'll put it on Poppy because she's the only 2-star unit I've hit so far. And now that in the most recent patch, everybody gets a billion item removers, so it's very easy to pop these items off of Poppy later on. I can run them on Poppy to start and then look to swap them over to like a Nunu later on, if I can get like up to 2-star or 3-star Nunu, because that would definitely be better. But for now, Poppy's 2-starred and those other units are not, so I might as well keep them on the Poppy. All right, so this person's level 5, so like this board should theoretically beat me, but like look at the ability of Ziggs. He just tosses bomb after bomb after bomb, or I guess B after B, and like he just murders the backline before they really get to do anything. So that's like a fight that I really should not win. But again, this setup with the Ziggs is like so overtuned that I'm going to be able to win it anyway. Now if we can just kill this Warwick, I think we have enough damage. Warwick is not hitting the Ziggs, so we should be able to kill this, and there we go. So not like an amazing stage 2, but largely because I didn't have upgraded frontline, but I'm starting to get there. I mean, I am up to 5 Ziggs, plus I have a Ziggs over there for Grillo, and I believe he's going to send his Ziggs over to me. And I'm going to send him this Jace because it makes Jace 2-star for him. And that gets me to 6 Ziggses, so that's pretty nice. I'll take that. I'm also getting a whole bunch of Aries so far. Now, I would rather get Nunus, but, you know, I'll take the Aries. I guess I have 2 Nunus and 2 Aries, but I'm going to look to grab both because I definitely want to play both of them. All right, anyway, this is the initial board. As I said, you play the 3 Oh, then there's another Nunu. Excellent. You play the 3 Honeymancer units, and then in addition to that, you also play the Poppy. And by the way, I got another tier, so I get to make blue buff just like that. So now I have all the items I want on Ziggs, and this is awesome. like I said, you play the 3B units, and then in addition to that, you also look to pick up Poppy. By the way, look at this, gain a copy of every 1-cost champ. This is awesome for me. I'm going to get another Ziggs. That's going to take me to 8 Ziggses. So that's really nice. It also gives me another Poppy, so that's 5 Poppies, and then I hit the 2-star Blitz. Like, this is a really nice charm for me, and I can just sell the ones I don't want. So it does cost a little additional econ, but like, this is such a plus for me to get this. All right, so again, what I really should do is I should probably item remover the vest off of the Poppy and move that over to Nunu. That said, it is just a vest, not a completed item, so it's not that big of a deal. And I did not think that I needed to roll down for like Ziggs 3-star here on level 4. I thought that I could just slow play this on level 5. I'm not being contested. No one else is playing B units in the lobby, which is a little unusual because this is a pretty popular team composition at the moment, but no one else is playing this. I'm uncontested, so I can afford to slow play this a little bit more. Be patient. There's no need to rush things, and just, yeah, rely on the Ziggs tossing out all those B bombs and smashing the back lines. Next unit in will be the Cassiopeia because she will give me Witchcraft trait and Incanter trait. And then look at the options here for my second augment. I have Rolling for Days, gain 11 free shop rerolls. I was like, okay, this is only a silver augment. It's not that powerful. I'll just take this right now and try to use it to see what I can hit. So I hit another Poppy. I'm also grabbing Cassidons for Grillo's board. He thought he might try to 3-star the Cassidon in this game if he saw a bunch of them. So, all right, there's another Blitz. There's another Ziggs. I got to drop something here. I was like, I'll drop the Cassidons. I wanted to send up for a little while. All right, well, there's 3-star Ziggs. That was easy enough. And I still have a bunch of rerolls here. So I was like, you know, I am on 7 Poppies. Why don't I just continue using these here? Arguably, maybe I should have gone to level 6 and used them to find Nunus, but I was really close on the Poppy, so I thought I'd just try to go for it here. And look, there's another Blitz, there's another Nunu. And now I've used up all my rerolls, so I'm going to stop here instead of going further. But like, that augment allowed me to get the 3-star Ziggs. I mean, I had the 3-star Ziggs super early here. And I'm also up to 7 Poppies, and I'm on, 4 Aries? So that's not bad at all. And it also allowed me to 2-star the Cassiopeia. So, like, my board spiked really hard there. This will make me a little bit weaker in the long run because that augment is now done. I get no further benefit from it, but it is only a silver augment. And I think the benefits were pretty huge. This should allow me to win streak for quite a while, thanks to hitting this. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this game is going. My board is spiked. Look at this. Reroll your shop with all 2-cost champs. I'll take that. There's another Ari here. I was like, I gotta dump something for this. I'll dump the Tahm Kench, which feels bad because Tahm Kench would be a great unit to play. But this takes me to 5 Aries, and I'm getting so close to Ari, I figured I'll just stay there. So now the question is, do I want to stay at level 5 and keep rerolling, or look to start pushing levels? And I thought it made sense to at least push to level 6. That'll allow me to put another unit on the board. I will go ahead and play Ari, even though she doesn't make any traits. That's because Ari will be useful for unlocking Arcana later on. And that's typically the plan is, so you play the 3B units, you play the Blitzcrank and the Nunu and the Ziggs. Then you toss in Poppy and the, what's her name? The Cassiopeia. By the way, that person's level 5-0 gold, and I still beat them, so that's a bad sign for them. The Poppy makes Bastion trait with Nunu, and then the Cassiopeia makes Incanter trait for the Ziggs, and then together they make Witchcraft. So that's the board at level 5. And then after that, you pretty much just put in more Arcana units. So Ari goes in, Tahm Kench goes in because he makes Vanguard trait and gives you a rank of Arcana, and then eventually if you can get the Zareth and Hecarim, you can play them. Zareth is a little bit more useful. Hecarim's not really particularly useful on the board, but he does give another rank of Arcana. And that's pretty much the build. It's a pretty straightforward build. Note that you do not play more of the B units. And by the way, I'd be happy to take the Nunu here because I do need Frontline, and it's an additional Nunu towards Nunu 3-star. So I would be very happy to take that if it's still there. Let's see, is it going to stick around? And it looks like it is. So am I going to go grab that? And I ended up taking the Rod and said, okay. I'm a little surprised I didn't end up taking... Oh, you know why it was? It's because I had the bow on the Cassiopeia, and this would make Rageblade, which is one of her best items. I think if I were to do this again, I would have taken the belt, though, because, number one, I do need more frontline. I don't really... Like, I have enough damage with the Ziggs. I really don't need more frontline, more damage here. Yes, the Rod is nice to make the Rageblade, because that is one of Cassiopeia's best items, but I don't really need that. What I need is more frontline, and, like, I could have maybe made a Sunfire Cape or something. Again, Sunfire's not a great late-game item, but it would be pretty good right now. It just would make one of my frontliners tankier, and it would also get me to 6 Nunus. Like, that's a big deal to be at 6 Nunus, because I really would like to get up to the 3-star Nunu. Poppy is holding the vest for right now, but like I probably should item remover that off her and stick it on Nunu, because Nunu gets the bee bonus, and Poppy does not. She gets Witchcraft, but this is a bee-focused game. So if you're curious, what do the bees do? Well, they were reworked in the most recent patch. They have changed what the bees do. Here's what the description, because it used to be that as you play deeper into the Honeymancer trait, you would get more bees. Now you always have 5 bees, so that doesn't change at all. Instead, that they do more damage dealt and damage taken. Here's the official description. Honeymancers gain 5 bees. They deal magic damage to their target every 3 seconds. Each bee deals damage based on the damage a Honeymaker deals and takes. So remember, it's also based on the damage you take, which is why it's good to itemize your tanks, because the longer they can tank, the more damage gets reflected. Also, by the way, look at this. I'm going to get another 2 Aries here. I'm on 7 Aries. This is pretty wild. I'm also going to get a Thief's Glove for the gift round, and I'm going to send this over to Krillo, and he's also then going to send me a Poppy, so that gets me to 8 Poppies. I have accepted I'm not going to hit the 3-star Blitz, and I had to clear out a bench space there. Also could have sent, you know what I could have done? I didn't actually have to sell that. I could have just sent the Caston over to him. And then there we go. There's the Poppy 3-star. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll itemize Poppy for right now. Anyway, getting back to the bee stuff, as I said, so bees deal magic damage to their target every 3 seconds, and it's based on the damage dealt and taken. So that's why it's a good idea to itemize the bee tanks as well. When a Honeymancer dies, they leave behind 2 bees that follow nearby Honeymancers for the rest of combat. So some of the bees will move to other units if your bee units die. At Honeymancer 3, it's 6% damage dealt, gets dealt to the target every 3 seconds, and then also 3% damage taken. So 6% dealt, 3% taken. Honeymancer 5, that does not increase very much. It goes from 6% to 8% on damage dealt and 3% to 4% on damage taken. And then the numbers like explode for Honeymancer 7 because that requires getting 2 emblems. By the way, you see this fight's pretty close, but I think we have just enough to clutch it out. Very nice. So that's going to allow me to win that round. And that's really big because it keeps my win streak going. It's worth a lot of gold. What people basically found out is that this means it doesn't make a lot of sense to go up to 5 Honeymancer because the benefit just barely goes up. And like Cogmal does not fit this team composition at all. Like Cog just does not fit on this board. And Veigar was strong in the previous patch, but he got nerfed really hard in this patch. They actually buffed him in the B patch that they came out. But Veigar's not a strong unit in this patch, so, and mages in general are not strong either. So if you're not gonna, if you don't get much benefit from going up to the 5 Bs and the Cogmal's a dead unit and Veigar's not strong in this patch, well, not much point to that. But I do have this. I'm gonna get a frying pan that comes out of the anvil, and then I get another frying pan here, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, do I just want to try... What I could do here is I was like, I could just try to make... I actually could try to make 2 bee emblems and go up to 7 bees. That is a possibility because you can reforge a frying pan into a spatula, and the Honeymancer emblem is makeable with a glove. So if I have a glove plus a spatula, I can make that. Now, was it really possible? Was it really realistic to try to reforge 2 frying pans both into spatulas and then also get 2 gloves? That might be a little optimistic. And again, if I were doing the game again, I think I would have just slammed the 2 frying pans together for a tactician's, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called for the double frying pans. I think maybe that would have been better just to play the additional unit. I think that instead of like trying to get multiple versions of this, but I did not end up doing that. I wanted to try and go for the 7 Bs. Is that going to happen? Probably not. You might have noticed I've also decided I'm going to look to level here instead of looking to find more Nunus. And there was a potential here to take the Bastion Crest because that would have given me a Nunu. Because like I could have taken a Nunu off that carousel. Remember, that would have gotten me to 6. And I could have taken another one there. That would have gotten me to 8. So I could be on 8 Nunus right now. I also think that might have been a better option as well. But, I could be on 8 and then I would only need to find one more. Instead, I opted to take the crash test dummies here, and the reason for that is I just wanted more frontline. But like, I definitely could have taken the Bastion Crest and slapped it on Blitzcrank, and then looked to play like a Taric or a Diana or something later on, in this game and had 4 Bastion or something like that. So that could have been a possibility as well. As I said, there's always room for some variation in terms of how you're playing this. Crash Test Dummies was very strong in set 10 when it was first introduced. It's not really that great of an augment in this set. Back in set 10, before they nerfed this, the Crash Test Dummies would fly into the enemy team and they would stun for 2 full seconds, was how they would play out. So you'd get a 2-second stun. Plus, in set 10, in double up mode, which is, of course, where most of my games are, it was very common in the gift round to have the option where you could get two of those training dummies. That was like one of the most popular gift rounds, is you could spend 5 gold to gift your partner 2 training dummies. So it was very common that you'd have the 2 crash test dummies, and then you would also get 2 more, and then they would all fly at the enemy team and stun for 2 seconds. Now it's almost never worthwhile to take the training dummy gift round because it's one of the weakest options. You only get 1 instead of 2, and that's a lot weaker. And the stun is now only for, I think it's for like 1 second instead of 2 seconds, something like that. So this is a much weaker option than it was before. That said, I think it wasn't a bad choice here because, again, I feel like my board does enough damage. What I really need is more frontline. The biggest issue is that I don't have a 3-star itemized tank that's also a Honeymancer, because Poppy is 3-star and she's a good tank, but she's not a Honeymancer, unfortunately, and like that is a problem because it means that the damage that she doesn't get that damage stacking bonus from being a Honeymancer. Remember, Honeymancer units deal damage both on damage dealt and damage taken, so you really want your main tank to be a Honeymancer. But I do have the potential to turn Poppy into a Honeymancer unit, so that's a possibility if I can get a glove here and make use of that spatula. And then I'd be able to play 5 Honeymancer if I put in the Vagar. I have the, of course, I am not expecting to get this glove because it's on a Rise. That seems unlikely that I will get that. Rise is a very popular, very contested unit. But if it is there by some miracle, I'll definitely take it. So, like I said, that is the possibility. I do have and yeah, it gets grabbed. So I do have the possibility of going up to 5 Bs, or I can just look to play more Arcana units. I have picked Ari with the Arcana selector. And the reason for that is Ari's Arcana selector ability is the more 3-star units you have, the more ability power you gain. So I have the 2 Arcana in there right now with Hecarim. And then I'm going to find Tahm Kench, so I'm going to play that over the Hecarim. He's much more useful for me. And yeah, now I'm going to look to get up to level 8. Again, I'm still holding the 6 Nunus, but like I'm not that close to Nunu 3-star. It's more like if I would happen to hit it, then I will play it. But otherwise, I'm not going out of my way to play this unit. I also do have the gift round back, but I don't quite have anything to send over to Grillo just yet. He is doing a good job with this portal board. He's definitely been hitting some units over there. And now he's looking for the standard. He's got a well-itemized Rise. He's found 1 Taric. He has pairs of both, so he's looking for either more Rises or more Tarics. He's also playing through Briar in this game. And I know he's been playing through Briar a lot. She's pretty strong in this patch. She's definitely one of the better 5-cost units. And especially if you're able to feed her, she can become really strong. So I believe that Grillo was able to hit the early Briar, and he's been tossing some health her way. Oh, I think what it was is, was this the game this might have been the game where he was able to get an early Briar. I can't remember exactly how. There was one of the games that we were playing, and he got a Briar through a gift round. I don't think it was this one. Yeah, I think it was a different game, but he got a Briar through the double up gift round, and just ended up having this like insanely early Briar that he then fed like a ton of health to, and it ended up with like 5,000 health. But I don't think that was this game. I think that was a different one. All right, anyway, so I'm going to level 8. I will go ahead and put the Hecarim on the board. This gets the Arcana 3, so you can see Ari's ability is now giving everybody 39 ability power. It's 15 flat, and then another 8 per 3-star. I have 3 3-stars. As I said, I have the Poppy, the Ziggs, and the Ari. And obviously, if I could get like a 3-star Nunu, then that would also all increase the benefit as well. But I am on a 10-match winning streak. Now, a couple of these matches have been relatively close. And I have been kind of power leveling here. So I have not really been sinking that much into improving the quality of my board. But I have gotten up here to level 8. I want to be higher level so I have better odds to find like Tahm Kench and Xerath. But unfortunately, it looks like this is where the win streak comes to an end. Grillo was going to win his round, but it turned out that the Olaf over there was pretty strong, so I wasn't quite able to beat them. At least that team's down on 10 gold, so they don't have a lot of gold to roll with. Now I'm hoping that I can pull a glove here. If I can pull a glove, I'll make the bee emblem. If not, I will just make the Tactician's crown. or whatever it's called from combining a spatula and a pan together. There's also good logic to be made that it maybe is better just to make the the tactician's crown, just get the +1 unit instead. But making the bee emblem wouldn't be bad here either. And then there is still always the slight chance that if I can make one bee emblem here, could maybe get a reforger down the road, reforge the frying pan into a spatula, and then get another glove. And then that would allow me to play 7 bees, which would be an instant win the lobby because that's like super powerful. Instead, what I'm going to get here is another bow, and that's not bad. I could always do static shiv with that. That's a possibility. But let's see what I can pull from this artifact anvil. I'm going to send this Tarek over to Grillo. He has 2 out of 3 Tareks, so that's a big spike for his board. And is there a glove there? Yes, there is. Unfortunately here, I make my biggest mistake of the entire match, which is that I'm going to put this bee emblem on the Cassiopeia. This is a humongous mistake. This needs to go on Poppy. As I said, it's just a gigantic mistake, and I never realized this until the game was over. Because remember, the bees do damage based on damage taken in addition to damage dealt. It will be infinitely better having this on my 3-star Poppy than having this on the 2-star Cassiopeia, who's mostly in there as a trait bot. Now, she does kick in some additional damage, but she is mostly in there as a trait bot. But this would be so much better on Poppy because the more she gets hit, the more reflected damage she would deal back to the enemy team. So this is, as I said, a huge mistake not having this on the Poppy. Anyway, I'm definitely going to win this round and knock out this player, but their partner comes in at the absolute last second. Again, if the bee emblem is on Poppy, she would be reflecting an insane amount of damage because she tanked so much throughout that fight, and we would have killed that player and knocked them out of the lobby right there instead of them clinging to life with 1 HP. So, like I said, part of the reason why I always cast these games is I'm trying to spot any mistakes I might have made throughout the game, and that was definitely the biggest mistake of this game because that item just should not be on the Cassiopeia. It should be on the Poppy. As I said, the biggest issue in my game here is the bee units are not the itemized tanks. And I could have resolved that because I could have made Poppy into a B unit, which she is not in this game, but could have been. So I am continuing to try to push to level 9 here. I want to get to level 9 and put in... Now I need to get to level 9 and put in the Vagar because now that I've made the B emblem, there's no sense in making the B emblem just to sit at 4 Honeymancer. I definitely have to make the B emblem to get to 5 Honeymancer, so I'm at least getting a benefit from making this. Otherwise, like right now, this +1 B is literally doing nothing for my board. I mean, I guess Cassiopeia does a little extra B damage, but that's not particularly relevant. Unfortunately, I also lose to that board with the 3-star Warwick. And the largest issue is I do just need more frontline. My frontline's a little bit weak. You might have noticed I'm picking up these Olafs. That's because we saw this team was going for a 3-star Olaf. I think they have like 6 or 7 Olafs at the moment. But they should not be able to make 3-star Olaf anymore, and that's because we have 2 Olafs on the bench. There are only 10 copies of the 4-cost units. We have 2 of them, so that means there's 8 left in the shop, and that's not enough to make a 3-star unit. So they should be prevented from making Olaf 3-star, unless they would happen to get an Olaf from a duplicator or a charm, both of which are possibilities in this set. So we have to hope that they don't get lucky and have that happen. All right, now I shifted Ziggs over to the right-hand side because I wanted Ziggs to kill the Ashe in the backline. Note that Ashe goes down to almost no health left, but then all of a sudden her health bar is starting to fill back up again. I'm not exactly sure what item it is that's giving her that, but yeah, that was enough to cause her to refill her health bar up again. That's a multi-striker reroll board. And after I won 10 rounds in a row earlier, now I've lost 4 rounds in a row. I was kind of like, oh, this isn't so great. Yeah, Ashe ended up shielding and healing for a ridiculous amount. So that didn't go so great. And I was looking at what my board was missing, and I was like, you know what? I don't have a heal cut on my board. Yeah, I could have made that Sunfire Cape earlier, but I didn't, and what I need is a heal cut. I don't have a way to stop the enemy team from healing, and that's really hurting me in some of these fights. Like, there was that board with the Olaf that was doing a lot of healing. There was the board with the Warwick. That unit also relies on being able to heal. The Ashe in that last fight had, like, crazy amounts of healing, so I was like, okay, I need something that's going to let me heal. Here's a red buff. I can slap this on the Cassiopeia. That will allow her to start removing the healing on the enemy team, I think, or at least remove some of it. And once again, I continue to make the same mistake. I do not have the Honeymancer emblem on Poppy. Just want to point that out. That thing 100% needed to be on Poppy. But I will go ahead and do the gift round. By the way, Grillo wanted a reforger. He was trying to he took an emblem off the carousel. He was trying to reforge it into a portal emblem because he had 1 portal emblem. If he got a second one, he could look to play 10 portal. But yeah, he only has the 1 portal emblem, and you need 2 to play 10 portal. But he's been win streaking. His board's actually been keeping us afloat here. And that's because 10 portal or 8 portal is quite strong. Yeah, he has a Bastion emblem. He reforged it into an Eldritch emblem. I mean, the odds of reforging into a portal emblem are pretty low. Probably like maybe 10% or less each time he tries it. I think he had like 3 shots at it. So it wasn't too likely, but it did end up happening. Or he did end up taking the shots. He did not actually get the additional portal emblem. Okay, so for this round, I'm up against one of the other boards, and with going up to the 5 Honeymancer, like I said, I went ahead and leveled. I put in Vhagar. The 5 Honeymancer plus now having a heal cut on the Cassiopeia did actually seem to make a difference. This round's also really important because this is against one of the teams on 1 HP, and if we win, we knock them out. And that is, in fact, exactly what happened. So that was a really big deal. Grillo's fight was close, but I think he got reinforced on, and then I was also able to reinforce. Together, we're able to knock that team out, which I think was one of the stronger teams. Now, this is a gift round, and I asked for the 2 components because, again, there's the possibility if I could have gotten a glove here, and then if I could just get a Reforger, again, I'd be able to make the 2nd bee emblem, but that ends up not happening as a possibility. I do get another Nunu here, so I'm getting close on that. And then I spot Xerath, so I'm going to play the Xerath. He is a way better unit on my board than the Hecarim. Both of them are just in there as trait bots for Arcana, but I can actually benefit from having Xerath, and he will kick in some additional damage over here. And you know what? I was like, I got these extra bows. Well, we'll just put a red buff on Xerath as well. That's also going to be good for applying heal debuff to the enemy team. All right, now these boards over here, I actually think these boards were not as strong as some of the boards on the players that got knocked out. Like, this is a perfectly respectable blaster board, but I don't think it's as strong as some of the other boards that I was facing and losing to. And we just have to deal with the Olaf, which we are, in fact, going to take care of. And we're going to win and knock that team down to 1 HP. Looks like Grillo was winning pretty easily as well. So their health bar turns that bright shade of red. And now we just need to beat either one of these units, and we'll knock them out of the lobby. Also getting close on the Nunu. Grillo has a send up, and he has another Nunu for me. So that takes me to 8 out of 9 Nunus. And at this point, I was like, you know, I really wish I'd taken that Nunu off Carousel. There is one other thing we have to contend with. You might have seen popping up on the interface. One of the other teams did just hit 3-star Olaf. We were like, wait, what? We had 2 Olafs out of the pool. How did they do that? Again, they must have gotten either a duplicator or they got an Olaf from one of their charms. Again, that can happen. So even though there were 0 Olafs available in the shop, there are still ways to get that unit. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but they were able to hit that. All right, I'm going to take this. Your units execute units under, 200 health. And I've got some Noras here I can potentially send over to Grillo. What I really want here is one more Nunu, because if he sends me a Nunu, then that would be Nunu 3-star. I was like, just go ahead and send me the Nunu here. Maybe I'll be able to find one. By the way, look at this shop. All these 5 costs here. I can't really use these, though. That would have been nice. You know, if I had gone for the +1 Bastion emblem, I would have gotten a Nunu out of that. And then I could have played that Diana that I just had like 3 Dianas in my shop. That would have been nice. But instead, I'm just going to end up putting the Warmogs on Poppy because I do need another tank item on her if I'm not going to put the bee emblem on her. And I end up getting stuck at 8 Nunus in this game, which is a little bit sad because remember, I do have the Nunu carry augment. I do have the Sweet Tooth Nunu. So I never really got to play through the Nunu, which is a bit unfortunate. Like, imagine if these tank items on Poppy had been on a 3-star Nunu with him having the Nunu carry augment. So I still win easily. And like, this was a really fun game. This was a pretty crazy high roll game. That said, I do wish I'd been able to hit the Nunu 3-star and move all the tank items over to him, because that definitely would have been better. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And as I said, if I'd just taken that Nunu off the carousel, I would have probably, again, assuming the shop plays out the same way, I would have had the Nunu 3-star. So, oh well. Anyway, though, this was a fun game. Grillo put together a great portal board, and I was able to play a bee game, which I'd been hoping to do for a little while. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great week, folks. Until then, take care, and I'll see you again soon.